Hello everyone, we're checking out something a little different from the usual. We're looking at something called a Unified Diffusion Large Language Model. The model is called LLaDA 2.0-Uni, and yeah, I'm just gonna call it LDA 2.0 for short because, well, that's easier. So this model, LDA 2.0-Uni, is a unified multimodal model that can understand vision and also generate images. And this is actually an upcoming trend that I've been seeing. Not just from Inclusion AI who made this model, but also from the company behind LiteX2V. They've created a similar concept with unified multimodal models for understanding and image generation. I'll be covering their model, called Sense Novel U1, in an upcoming video. But for today we're focusing on LDA 2.0-Uni. The main features here are text-to-image generation, image understanding, image editing, and interleave generation with reasoning. It also has sprint acceleration, which uses KV cache reuse and adaptive masking. Basically, in simple terms, faster inference, so you're getting language model capabilities, or what we call vision language models nowadays, plus image generation all in one single model. Now, this concept is still in a very early stage. Don't expect it to generate images really fast. And the implementation isn't simple yet, because the entire pipeline is custom built. When you look at their GitHub project, all the decoder, encoder, and scripts, everything is a custom pipeline built by them. It's not using diffusers at this point, and if you check their to-do list, they have diffuser support coming, quantized models, ComfyUI support, SGLang support, and even RL optimizations planned for future versions. Talking about ComfyUI support, well, I didn't wait for them. I built the custom nodes myself to play around with this model. So I created a custom node called ComfyUI LLaDA 2.0-Uni for running this in ComfyUI. And honestly, the easier way to run this is just using their inference code directly. You can copy and paste it into a Python editor and just run it. For people comfortable with Python, that's actually simpler, but having a user interface makes it more accessible for non-technical people who want to see how it's set up and running. That's why I decided to build the ComfyUI pipeline. Alright, let's talk about the model itself. You can find it on their ModelScope repo, as well as the Hugging Face repo. I've noticed the new ModelScope interface actually looks pretty nice now. The buttons are more intuitive, and all their agent content like skills and MCP tools are easy to find. So I've been using ModelScope more often lately for open source AI model information. Now, looking at the files, you'll see the decoder comes in two types. There's the normal decoder, which means slower inference, and then there's the turbo decoder, which is obviously faster. You also have the image tokenizer and VAE for handling image generation. And then the main model files. These are the diffusion large language model weights. You can see all these split files, 13 of them, plus the model index, JSON. The whole package comes out to about 60 gigabytes total. And here's where my custom node and modification comes in. I've quantized the diffusion transformer model to FP8 and uploaded it to a separate Hugging Face repo. The FP8 version contains the same 13 model index files, just with compressed precision. So I only uploaded the diffusion transformer weights, which are about 16 gigabytes in FP8. The original BF16 version, just the transformer files alone, not counting the decoder, is about 30 gigabytes, so FP8 cuts that almost in half. For implementation, if you have enough VRAM and storage for the full 60 gigabyte package, just download the official repo. That's the easiest. But if you're more constrained, you can download the decoder, image tokenizer, and VAE from the official repo, and then use my FP8 transformer weights. That way, your local storage and inference memory usage will both be lower. Here's how to set it up. In your ComfyUI Models folder, create a subfolder called LLaDA 2.0-Uni and put all the model weights in there. When I highlight these 13 model files, you can see the FP8 version takes up about 15 gigabytes. If I switch to the BF16 folder, that same set is 30.4 gigabytes. So you're looking at almost half the storage with FP8. And again, the decoder, tokenizer, and VAE are the same files from the official repo. I didn't duplicate those. Now let's get into the ComfyUI custom node. I've implemented all the features listed on their model page: text-to-image, image understanding, image editing, and the token decoder with both normal and turbo modes. You can run this as a vision language model to understand your input images, or use it for image generation and editing. But honestly, after testing this in ComfyUI, I feel like this kind of unified model would work better with a chat interface rather than a one-shot workflow. Think about it. In Gemini, you can do image editing in a back-and-forth conversation. You ask it to create an image, then edit it, and it gives you results interactively. That's a much better user experience for this type of model. So later on, I'm planning to implement this as an MCP server for inferencing, using language model tool calling to access LLaDA 2.0 features for image editing and creation. And I know some of you watching might not be familiar with that setup, so let's just focus on the features for now. For the setup, you do a git clone, install the custom node, run the requirements.txt for dependencies. You can use the ComfyUI Hub CLI to batch download files from Hugging Face. But if you're using FP8, be aware, you only download the diffusion transformer from my repo, then go to the official repo for the decoder, tokenizer, and VAE separately. And the last step is flash attention. That's optional. If you have it installed, great. If not, I've built in a fallback to SDPA, which is already included in PyTorch by default, so it won't only support flash attention. Now looking at the ComfyUI workflow, I've set up a diagram that includes all the features of this model. 3 main sections. First is text to image. You use the LLaDA 2.0-Uni loader, which by default points to that model subfolder I mentioned. If you haven't downloaded the model files yet, it will auto-download on the first run, but that'll take a while. For the settings, keep the D type at BF16 by default, even if you're running FP8 weights. The node handles the conversion automatically at runtime, so you don't need to worry about that option. For onloading and offloading, choose based on your VRAM situation. Device, use CUDA, not CPU, unless you want to wait forever for a single task. Text to image is straightforward. Put in your text prompt, set width, height, steps, and CFG. Now, the mode option here is something really fun to play with. Because this is a diffusion large language model with thinking capability. It's not just an image generator. You can enable thinking mode, which adds a reasoning step before generation. Of course, that takes longer with additional thinking steps, but it's unique. All these parameters follow the defaults from the official documentation. You can adjust sampling steps and CFG scales to test on your own, but I'll stick with their recommended settings for this demo. For sprint acceleration, I've included that option as well. It uses KV cache to speed things up. You can turn it off, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you're just testing whether the setup works at all. And the unload models option controls whether VRAM gets cleaned up after each run. Sometimes you want to keep the model loaded to avoid reloading every time. Now, one thing that has to be mentioned is the decoder. This is a very unique decoder for LLaDA 2.0. Similar to how large language models work, the decoder here has its own steps. You can choose between the normal decoder or decoder turbo, which runs faster sampling. For me, even during testing, I just go with decoder turbo. The output quality is similar enough. So let's try some examples. Previously, I've tested a couple images with text to image. By default, this generates at 1024 pixels, 1:1 aspect ratio, based on their model specifications. So this first one, I was testing the texture capabilities. Can it produce leather surfaces, golden colors, and realistic reflections? And yes, you can see the leather texture on the book, and the golden colors work at various angles with different sunlighting directions. The next text prompt I'm testing is about control. Specifically, whether the model can maintain strict color isolation. Can it keep the chair red and the books blue without bleeding colors together? This tests the model's ability to follow precise spatial instructions and maintain token isolation. And here's the result. So we have the red chair right in the middle of the canvas, a tall bookshelf with books displayed in blue. I divided the prompt into 3 sections, and on the right side of the chair, there are large windows showing a thunderstorm. Now, the style comes out kind of abstract, fantasy-like. The windows aren't your normal rectangular shapes, but it did follow the prompt about having thunderstorms visible outside. Now, talking about image quality. It won't blow you away with just a single pass of sampling. If you want to enhance the image, you'd likely run a second pass through another diffusion model, like using Z-Image Turbo, or even bring it into something like Nano Banana for enhancement, similar to what I showed with image editing in Gemini. As a base foundation model for creating images, though, to be fair, it did follow the prompt instructions and placed objects where I wanted them, and that was the whole point of this test. So looking at this next example, this blend of dark volcano rock and liquid gold dripping onto marble. It's not going to look exactly like a realistic human face sculpture, but you can see how the two textures blend into the same object, the dark volcanic rock on the left and the liquid gold on the right, actively dripping. It's abstract, but it shows the model following instructions for material blending. And look, rather than just generating a woman AI character to show you how realistic the skin looks, I'm trying to stress test the model's understanding of image generation through challenging prompts. Next up, image editing. So I used this text prompt with an existing image, changing the style and adding robotic arms to fix a motorbike. It does follow some of the positioning from the prompt. The text on the display, some of it is correct, like Unified Editing Labs right here. But the spelling of LLaDA is a bit off. There's a capital V instead of an L on the first letter. It created more of an anime cyberpunk style with robotic arms, which wasn't exactly what I asked for in terms of realism. Here's another editing example. I took this futuristic style image and changed the background using the character as a reference. The AI does get a bit creative with repositioning the character, so the result looks somewhat different from the source. And this last one, a simple background change. It did change the background, but the character consistency shifted too. So honestly, I wasn't super impressed with the image editing performance. It works, but the character consistency during edits needs improvement. Next, image understanding. This works like any vision language model you've used before. You can ask it to describe an image. But here's something interesting. You can ask for multiple outputs in one query, like, describe the image and also create a text prompt based on it. These are two different tasks, and the model handles both in a single run. So for instance, if you generated an image, you can connect it to the understanding node and run it like a standard VLM. The detail level depends on your generation length setting. If your machine has enough memory, you can crank that up for more detailed responses. Here's an example. I processed one of my video scenes with a simple instruction, and it gave me a pretty detailed description plus an image text prompt plus some follow-up information. Because I specifically asked for both a detailed description and an image text prompt, it handled both tasks in one query. I wouldn't call this a full AI agent, but it does handle multiple tasks within the same runtime, which is pretty useful. Now you might be surprised by the processing time. It's not fast, to be honest, because you're combining a vision language model with a diffusion model for image generation, plus thinking capability in the language model. All three together takes a while for loading and processing. I think in future updates, either for this model or other new multimodal models with this diffusion plus LLM approach, memory efficiency needs to improve. If you check Hugging Face trending models right now, DeepSeek V4 is taking the top spot. And yeah, that's amazing, with really cheap inference costs per million tokens. But scroll down a bit and you'll see LLaDA 2.0-Uni right there. So it is getting attention from AI researchers and developers who are interested in this multimodal diffusion approach. And next time, we'll look at something similar. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, this unified multimodal approach is becoming a trend. It's not just about image generation anymore. It's about combining multiple capabilities into one model. And that's where things are heading. So that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.